What up, y'all? Real Estate Rob here. Rob Moore. Former indie wrestler, police officer, and now I am the guy who helps North Carolina families fight through probate without using a steel chair to the head, or breaking a table, or barbed wire, any of that. Okay, so here's the big question. People always ask me, Rob, when someone passes away, what debts actually get paid during probate? It's a fair question because most people think debt just somehow vanishes into thin air when someone dies. Here's a spoiler alert. It does not. In fact, some debts survive longer than a bad country song, and if you're an heir, you need to know which ones get paid before you see a dime of inheritance. Let's talk. Alright guys, thanks for joining me in this video today. We're going to cover a lot of what ifs and a lot of other information. Some of the what ifs we'll cover is, what if the estate doesn't have enough money to pay all the debts? Do medical bills get paid before the mortgage? And are kids ever responsible for their parents' debt? Stick with me, because the order of payment matters more than you think. So in North Carolina, debts get paid in a strict order. The court doesn't let the executor just pick and choose, right? So here's the ladder. From the top down, so you have number one, the funeral and the burial expenses within reason. A $7,000 funeral is common, $7,000 or above, but a $50,000 gold-plated casket, that might raise some eyebrows. Then you have probate costs, filing fees, attorney fees, and executor fees at number two. Number three, you have state and federal taxes. As we know, Uncle Sam has to get his cut, even in death. Number four, you have things like secured debts, mortgages, car loans. These are things that are tied to the property. If you don't pay, the bank can foreclose or repossess. Number five, you have unsecured debts like credit cards, medical bills, personal loans. And then number six, there's remaining valid claims, things like unpaid utilities, subscription services, and also random bills that can sneak in as well. So here's some good what if scenarios, sort of like a Q&A. But what if the estate doesn't have enough to pay everyone? Well, creditors at the bottom of the list may get nothing. What if heirs think they're getting a $100,000 inheritance, but the estate owes $80,000 in taxes and medical bills? Sorry, their share just shrank to like $20,000. What if a creditor misses the filing deadline in North Carolina? Creditors usually have 90 days from notice. If they miss it, they are just SOL. That stands for shamefully out of luck. Let's keep going. So there was a woman in Charlotte, North Carolina, who inherited her dad's home. She was thrilled. That's until she learned there was a second mortgage she had no clue about. That mortgage had to be paid in probate. And when the house sold, most of the proceeds went straight to the bank. And she ended up with far, far less than she expected. Sad conclusion, but it's another case that was out in Greensboro I'm familiar with, and it involved a massive debt, over $200,000 worth of medical bills. The heirs, for some reason, assumed they wouldn't be on the hook, but the state had to liquidate investments to cover those bills, leaving very little cash left to distribute. Probate debts are like leftovers in the fridge. They always get handled before you get dessert. So debts can eat away at an inheritance fast. That's why it's so important for heirs to understand that what they think they're getting may not be what they actually walk away with. Executors, they need to be careful too. If they distribute assets before debts are settled, they could personally be responsible for those debts and for those assets as well. That's why you should have watched my last video where we talked about probate bonds, and then you wouldn't have to deal with that if you're an executor. Listen up, North Carolina, here's the bottom line. In probate, debts don't just disappear. They get paid in order, starting with funeral expenses and ending with credit cards. Heirs get whatever's left. And if there's nothing, sorry. If you're dealing with probate in North Carolina and staring at a pile of bills and you just don't know where to turn, give me a call, or you can register on my Calendly link below. I'll walk you through it step by step and create a roadmap just for you. Now let me ask you, what's the biggest surprise bill you've ever seen in a probate or inheritance situation? Drop it in the comments below. I always respond. Oh, stick around, because in the next video, we're going to talk about whether probate can be avoided entirely. And trust me, that's one folks always lean in to hear. All right, guys, thank you for joining me today. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. I am truly grateful. So, if you just happened to land on this video, maybe it just showed up in your algorithm, and you're like, this does me no good. Well, maybe you know someone who this video can help. Feel free to like and share this video. And speaking of the algorithm, it lets the algorithm know someone's actually paying attention to this stuff. Alright guys, as we keep it going in this probate series, in the last video, I talked about how are assets valued in North Carolina. And you can check out that video, because that video, it's coming up next.